Okay, welcome everyone to the Paketo Working Group weekly meeting. We're really glad that you are here. Let me share my screen real quick and let me share with you for folks who are just joining. Let me share real quick here the link for the agenda and notes. It's over here. Feel free to drop anything you like to discuss there. So let's get started. For the first item, who would like to take notes for this session? So it's not that hard. I could try doing so, but probably will ask someone else to share screen because already did the things at the same time and it's challenging. So we could do it that way if you like. Anyone wants to take notes or share screen?
I can take notes.
Oh, thank you, Frankie. All right, new faces. Sure. Probably John. John Dushak. I don't know if you're a new face to this meeting. At least for me, you are.
Yeah, new face. I just joined last Monday, and so I'm a product manager on the Paketo and Buildpacks team.
Welcome. We're glad to have you here. John. Okay, anyone else? No. All right. Next up, outstanding RFCs. Starting by the secure runtime environments. If I remember well, it was missing a review, but yeah, it was already approved. So is there any other comment, update, observation around this RFC?
I don't think so. I think this just needs to be merged at this point.
Okay, ready to be merged. That's great. Thank you. Okay. Next one, image retention policy that, if I remember well, it was ready to be merged. Is that correct? Or does it need an additional review?
It looks like it has all the approvals needed.
Okay.
I can get this merged as well.
Okay, great. Thank you, Ryan. Okay, next one is the Stack Descriptor Rfc. Yeah, it has some approvals. Yeah, some very recent approvals.
Yeah, I think we're waiting on Emily to get back on this one. Just make sure that her concerns had been addressed with the recent changes.
Okay, so we'll wait for her input on this. Okay, next one, the Jammy Stacks RFC.
I think this one's in the same state, waiting for a review from Emily.
Okay, waiting for her review. All right, health checker Buildpacks. This is a recently created proposal. So I don't know if Daniel would like to introduce it, provide some comments around it. Daniel here. No, he's not here, right? Okay. Okay, so we will give time for the team to review this and provide comments. Asynchronous, is that correct?
Yeah, I just pinged him to ask if he was coming to the working group. It looks like he's online. The background on this is that there are some cases, specifically, I think if you're running on like a Docker composer kind of thing, the way that those actually do health checks of the containers that they're running is they invoke some, like they exec some command inside the container and then look at the status of that like actual executable. I think Dan's coming in. He maybe can explain this better. In the past, folks, I think, have asked us to put stuff like curl or wget into the stack so that they can say invoke those things. I think what Dan's proposing here is an alternative that he's kind of suggested previously in interacting with these folks who've requested this type of behavior, but hopefully does it in a much more lightweight manner that doesn't result in us having to add even more stuff into the stack. But I don't know, Dan, we're talking about the health check build pack if you want to chime in here.
Yeah, sorry, I'm late. Yeah, no, you pretty much nailed it. You know, this isn't as much of an issue if you're running on Kubernetes, but if you're trying to just run with Docker or Docker Compose, there's not really a native HTTP health checker built in. And so you have to use curl or wget or whatever. We don't have those in our containers. So people are kind of stuck having to hack together some other solution. This would just give them a binary that they can use. And then we can also wire up a process type so they can just invoke that directly and make it real simple for them. And then this would contribute a build pack that would essentially add that, add a health check process. I've kind of left the health check process that gets added to be a little vague because I think the build pack could support different ones. You know, if folks have different needs there.
Thank you, Ryan, Daniel. Any comment around this proposal? Great. Yeah, feel free to add your comments, observations right there in the proposal in the PR itself. All right, and also an RFC to extend the .NET SDK. White Forest already has some comments. Is there any update, well, pretty recent comments? Besides what's already there, is there any comment anyone would like to provide for this RFC?
I think this is filed under the .NET Core language family, yeah, it is. Meaning that like technically for merge, all that this needs is the .NET Core maintainers. But since this like is kind of a significant change to the language family and may impact a lot of Paketo users, I at least would be happy to like hear from people across the project about how they think this would impact users.
I think Forrest isn't here today to talk about it. I think the explanation is pretty in-depth if people want to read it, but at a high level, we're seeing some failures in the newer versions of .NET SDK when we perform builds on certain types of apps. And the only solution that Frankie and Forrest had come across was using SDK as it comes from Microsoft directly. Frankie, please correct me if I'm wrong about any of this, but when it comes directly from Microsoft, it includes the runtime and the ASP.NET like binaries as well as the SDK. And that's kind of considered like a .NET Hive. And we do not see failures when that version of the SDK is used and everything is together. And whether instead our build packs like separate those three dependencies into 3 separate build packs. So the proposal here is for the .NET Core SDK build pack, we will be installing like the .NET Hive version of the SDK dependency rather than, like just stripping out the runtime and the ASP.NET and just installing SDK by itself. And because of that, it's like a much bigger dependency. And we also have some like overlap because other parts of the proposal still include downloading the runtime and ASP.NET in separate build packs. I won't like get into why, you can read the RFC, but essentially this is a proposal to change what we ship for the SDK dependency in order to overcome this and also like follow more of like the .NET Core like best practices. Like I think this is the type of thing that they do in like the Docker alternatives with multi-stage builds. So yeah, check out, I might have butchered that, but check out the RFC. It has big ramifications for, like download times and things like that. So I think that's it.
Thank you, Sophie. Thank you for that. Yeah, feel free to continue the conversation in the RFC. All right, great. Next up, updates or questions around the CNV project, Cloud Native Buildpacks. I mean, I was scrolling through every single async communication channel from the CNV project and wasn't able to find a relevant update from last week. So I was wondering if someone from the team was aware of anything remarkable for this week around the CNV project, or is there any question? Oh. All right.
Actually, one thing, I think Buildpack API 0.8 is out, and the Paketo team is like working towards like implementing support for that in Packet. So eventually we'll be able to move our build packs over to Buildpack 0.8 API 0.8.
That's pretty relevant. If you have a link for that, please drop in the notes, or otherwise I will try to find one.
Yeah, I can add a link.
No, thank you, Sophie. Okay, next up, project update. Speaking of .NET, there's a new version of the .NET Core build pack. Kudos to Forrest and frankly, I'm just amplifying the shout out from Sophie for this team for working on this. I don't know if maybe Frankie would like to comment something around this release.
Yeah, as this note states, this should include a form of incremental build caching. So this means that if you're building a .NET app from source code, if you build it and then rebuild it, you should see your rebuild times, like in the compilation step, be a lot faster because you'll have your effectively the contents of that OBJ folder, which is what makes rebuilds on your local faster. And if it doesn't work, let us know because it should.
Sure. Yeah, please try it and let us know your feedback. Awesome. Thank you, Frankie. All right. Seems like that's it for the agenda. Does anyone has anything else to share? No. Okay. Thanks for your time. Hope to see you next week.